the destruction of property in this area, destroying houses, arresting people, ordering armed men, and turning the Kyabazinga Palace into torture chamber is none other than Katukiro Muvawala. Now I cannot allow that criminal publicly exposed to be left unarrested. Therefore, I've directed that Muvawala be arrested, interrogated, charged, and this is a matter where the police should entertain police bond. This is a high-level person, and I've clarified to the people, and I've read the constitution to them, that a traditional ruler has no administrative, constitution, or executive role, either of local government, of central government, of Uganda, or local government. So how can a mere worker within the corporation soul, or the only one recognized, now where does he get authority to deploy, destroy, evict, cause women to be raped from their fields? Where does he get that authority? Is it above the law? Today I've declared that he's not above the law and he must be arrested. I cannot tell Kyabazinga to appoint another one, but I'm telling him that he has no he's Kyabazinga now, he's Katukiro now, is a hunted criminal. We are looking, the thing is public, recorded, and in the documents I have, he must defend himself in the court of law. In the meanwhile, nothing should not attempt to execute any executive, administrative, or legislative function because it doesn't exist. That's number one. Number two, as per presidential directive of 22nd February 2013, I've directed and ordered whoever was evicted here on the orders of Katukiro Muvawala, whoever was evicted here must return to his piece of land. Must return, that was the directive of His Excellency the President, and still effective. I've also directed those whose houses were destroyed, they should go back to their land, rebuild their houses, but those who caused their destruction must pay compensation. In particular, I've talked about the Reverend whom I talked with. Muvawala is directly responsible for the destruction of the house he was building on the plot of land he had bought from a neighbor. Muvawala had no authority to go and stop that construction and destruction of that property. He may not himself have gotten the hammer and destroyed, but it was by his authority and direction and by his agents that this was done. So number one, he must answer criminal charges. It must be one of the charges to be arrested for. He must compensate him for both for the house destroyed, that's giving money to rebuild it, and he must also compensate him for the pain, suffering, and humiliation he caused him in the community which he serves as a priest.
To thank our Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister Mayanja Sam, for the opportunity he has given the public so that we can get the justice. All along we have been yearning to see our Honorable, but eventually the minister decided to come to the locus and we have got the justice. And in addition to that, we thought that as they have been saying that the land belongs to Kyabazinga, but the minister said that the land belongs to the community, it's not for Kyabazinga. So he made the directive, the community to go back to their land so that they can utilize their premises. Therefore, I thank him for that brave he has used so that Mwananchi can get the equal rights, the equal opportunity, because we are all Ugandans here. Now, in addition to that, I thank him that he has also entrusted me to be on the committee which is going to carry out the exercise of the exercise of collecting all the documents of the people who were evicted forcefully on land. So I'll be happy to see that we are working hand in hand with the people so that we can overcome the situation.
Olubiri lwa Kyabazinga must be closed and be cleansed, maybe through rituals of the Busoga, to make sure that this evil of finding women in their fields, taking them there to be tortured and raped, arresting people, taking them there to be tortured, doing all kinds of evil things in that Rubiri. That Rubiri has become a torture chamber. It must be closed and cleansed before it is opened again for use. And then I've directed that these royal chambers, these royal guards, they must all be disarmed. Guards and royal guards are given by way prestige of these traditional rulers. Now here in Busoga, they are torturing people, beating them, stopping them. They must all be disarmed, and the king and the traditional ruler will ask for another set properly trained to know what a bodyguard is. They are not torturing people, and this must be screened in accordance with the law. And I've also directed this area is no longer a contested area. The owners must come back to their land and till their land in an ordinary way. No armed people should be seen here. If they come, they are outlaws, they should be arrested, they are criminals. Only ordinary civil police, either carrying out ordinary investigations or doing in the course of their work, should be seen here and doing it in the normal way. But thugs coming here, putting on army uniform, calling them army, spoiling the name of the UPDF, those should not be seen here. They should be arrested. Those have been my orders, and others which must have been recorded.
Thank you.
He is the head thug. Everybody has said here, the police are here to enforce the law. They would arrest him. They cannot. Here now there's an anti-hierarchy. Inspector General of Police, Director of Operations, all those things. And we have set up a committee, which is called, it is Eva Navasiye, my personal assistant. They work together. We shall get all these things together. And we, as I've said publicly, we are going to work hand in hand with the State House Anti-Corruption Unit. They cannot refuse. They cannot disobey a lawful order.
Nti kubanga ye minister avunanizibwa ku nsonga z'amataka mu ggwanga wonna. Avunanizibwa ku nsonga z'amataka mu ggwanga wonna. Kati kyova olaba nti tetubuusabuusa mu ekyo era mu directives zaawadde agambye zivudde wa President Museveni mukama we. Kati tetusobola kubuusabuusa mu ekyo nti abakulu balagidde okuba nti bakwatibwa basobola okugenda okuwa statement nti bagende kuziwa olw'ensonga nti teri ali waggulu w'amateeka era akyogedde nti teri ali waggulu w'amateeka. So n'olwekyo tumanyi bulungi nnyo nti bajja kugenda bawe statement ku nsonga ezo tulabe nga tufuna obwenkanya.
As a legal research assistant assigned, my main job is to ensure that we follow the protocol and the law, and I ensure that all parties and stakeholders enforce the directives being given. One, we have the office of the RCC, stroke the RDC, which is the area, who is the chairperson of the Area Security Committee, and the DPC is under them. So we are not going to arrest because our office follows the law. We are going to ensure that the RCC provides security to these individuals. And since the land is public land, we have to educate the Bibanja holders and help them to carry out the legal process of getting titles, either through leasehold, freehold, so that they can ensure their stay on the land. We cannot do that much, but the purpose of us being here is to ensure that all Ugandans are seated on their lands and not evicted illegally, and they're not oppressed. As you have seen, majority of them, their property has been destroyed, And the tricky part is who is to compensate. As a legal personnel, we have to ensure if we are to say we are to compensate, what is the process? Is it the government or the accused? That's if the Office of the Anti-Corruption Unit finds them liable for that. One is efficiency. Dealing with a group of people, as you have seen, there are over 200 and 300 people being affected. In terms of processes, there are always taxes and charges being influenced. Some may not be able to move at the same pace. And still, because some processes are long, the pressure or the enforcement, as of right now, you have seen the DPC trying to arrest. We just hope and pray that that force and energy is used even after a month period. Another is a language barrier as a person. Then secondly is, of course, teamwork, change of officers, because today the RCC who is there may not be that same RCC who is there. But like I say, 1 + 1 makes a bundle. One step at a time, and ensure that the government, as we have directed that we are going to go back, make the directives, write to His Excellency, the President, and I'm very sure he'll be behind us and enable us, whoever comes into that office, to be able that these people are sat on their land. As for the compensations, we encourage them to first get what they can and we follow the process. Because majority of them may think tomorrow the compensation is going to come. And that's the hardest task I have, is to educate the masses that these people, it's a process, and to be patient. You know?
On the issue of screening the palace.
If there is any alleged illegal activities that are being said, with the Office of the State Anti-Corruption Unit, the police, the Uganda Police Force, and the team we work with, we have a say. We can't say, because it's a palace in courts, that we are not going to carry out investigations. And I'm very sure also that Chabazinga will be saddened to hear such allegations and would love to clear. So to enforce with the palace, I'm very sure we shall work with the Paris team, with the officers which are responsible for that, and ensure that if those illegal activities are true, the culprits are brought to justice.